Hey, it's Styles from Brand Content Studios, and here's your content marketing quickie for the week of August 27th, 2019. Special shout out this week to listener Rich Taylor, who said, and I quote, "I don't know half the stuff you're talking about, but I like it anyway." Do you want to know how special I am? I'm on LinkedIn. That makes me one of only 645 million people and 30 million businesses who can say that same thing. Well, LinkedIn knows that's a lot of people, which means a lot of data, and they wanted to make it easier for you to find stuff out about the people you want to reach. Therefore, and forever thereafter, you have some new tools to play with called the LinkedIn Insights and Research page. It's part of the Success Hub for marketers. Here's what you get. And no, LinkedIn is not paying me to tell you this. First, you've got audience insights to help your business grow that's divided into handy-dandy categories. Then you can aggregate what you want to know about them. Who are these people? Where'd they come from? What do they like, and how do they like to get it? Simmer down, I'm talking about content here. Where are they? What skills do they have? What influencers do they follow? Which, by the way, writer Amaya Dusain says can be filtered by different types like C-suite or IT decision maker. Next, you can get insights on specific industries like the trends and research about your favoritist vertical. And lastly, there are the ad insights, so you can understand the best way to market using LinkedIn. You didn't think this was all solely for your benefit, did you? Anyway, that will help you measure performance to make sure you're accomplishing what you want to, get some branding tips, and learn to align sales and marketing a good bit better. It really is cool because LinkedIn is a powerful B2B marketing weapon, at least until you can get your prospects to connect with you on Facebook so you can comment on how excited you are their daughter's braces have finally come off. Last week, gosh, it seems so long ago, doesn't it? Depending on when you did your on-demand listening, we talked about the different ways we need to think about Gen Z as we start marketing to them as opposed to their predecessors. Well, this week, we're telling you about what a panel of Young Entrepreneur Council members says is how you should approach them specifically on social media platforms, which we learned they adopt every time a new one comes along. They say think hard about these things. Personalization. Zach Johnson writes that studies show Gen Z people, they want to see personalized content and ads more than ever. Breaking news, things that are about them, appeal to them. Think influencer marketing. Again, studies say Gen Z is not that swept away by celebrities. They're looking for people who are like them. And apparently, they don't feel like Chris Hemsworth or Selena Gomez are exactly doppelgangers. It's when they see someone they relate to using a product that they're more likely to click buy now. Gen Z is down with chatbots. Hey, everybody needs a friend. Now, the best chat experiences are with live humans who know what the hell you're talking about. But if what they're asking is asked often enough and has a clear answer, chatbots are fine. They're also super into Instagram stories. Their thumbs, they are a-twitchin', and they like to fly through their content at top speed, so short and entertaining wins every time. We also learned last week that whether you want to or not, Gen Z prefers to engage with your business on a much more human and personal level. One of the best ways to do this is just answer their questions. Be there and be responsive and care about what they need, and you'll do really well because most brands are still deeply entrenched in the business of ignoring people. Gen Z ain't gonna like that. Then there's video content, but we all already knew that, right? That's not specific to Gen Z. That's just what you should be doing. Table stakes. What is specific to Gen Z is they seem to have a heightened sense of FOMO, or fear of missing out. You can leverage that, but do it in non-evil ways, please. Adam Mendler from the Velaz Group says, make sure what you give them has value for them. Otherwise, they will be thoroughly unimpressed. And lastly, Gen Z wants behind-the-scenes glimpses into your brand. They want to see if there's anything more to you than your clever marketing tactics. Helpful how-to content is another great way to create organic relationships using content. How much time do you put toward thinking about your email subject lines? Well, Oracle thinks whatever it is, it should probably be a little more. Their Chad White summarized some advice from Lizette Resendez from Oracle Marketing Cloud Consulting, like, have you gotten serious about your preview text? Because that can team up with your subject line for some really effective communication. We know you're probably not thinking about it because preview text is less than half as likely as subject lines to be A/B tested like they should. Don't waste that text at the top of the body of your emails by just saying what the subject line already said. 2, consider visual elements in subject lines, but be oh so careful because it can look juvenile, cutesy, and spammy if it doesn't fit in with your brand or your message. Plus, emojis sometimes look different in different email clients, so you're flying blind a little bit. 3, give some context in the subject line. If the email was triggered by some action they took, which hopefully it was, include that in the subject line and boom, relevancy. 4, be aware that voice assistants are now reading your subject lines out loud, and they still do not understand nuance or humor or much of anything, really. It's not that big a problem now, but as usage goes up, it might be. And 5, they say you might have to write alternative subject lines if you're using email annotations. Now, those are those enriched previews that show up if they're seen in Gmail's Promotions tab. Email annotations actually let you write a different subject line that will only show up if a rich preview is happening, so that it makes it more relevant. I tell you, that Namibian prince that needs you to wire him $500 is going to have to up his game. Lastly, and quickly, Greg Sterling tells us the results of a study about personalization, which we talk about a lot. It comes from the Advertising Research Foundation. It's not just Gen Z. Studies keep showing that a lot of people want personalized digital experiences. But this particular study shows there's a lot more to that story. In fact, it found telling people sharing their data will allow for a more personalized experience does not result in a greater willingness to share data. What do you think of that? People want relevant info and content, but when they're reminded there's a price to pay for that, the want isn't as wanty. Compared to last year, there's more resistance to sharing personal data, especially when it comes to home address, spouse's first and last name, personal email address, and your first and last names. In that order. You're more willing to give up your spouse than yourself. So with reluctance to give that info, I guess there's no point in asking them what self-image problem makes them most likely to buy an expensive thing. People have just gotten more savvy. Users have a better understanding of privacy policy terms than they did last year. Not that they read them. They just better know what's probably in them. And who knows, maybe you are out there reading privacy policies because the study also showed people want to be clearly asked permission for their data to be used. For others, even though they may want it, the word personalization is now a negative word that gets translated in their minds to tracking or surveillance. That's the Content Marketing Quickie for this week. Just tell a coworker about it or bring up something you heard on it in a meeting. These are among the best things I could ask for at the moment. And we'll be back next week.